I was watching. Whoo-wee. I was watching some. It was crazy. Do you know who is? Let me read his name. Tony Mandarich. Tony Mandarich. I was watching some things about this guy. So this guy was the most hyped NFL prospect, offensive line ever. Offensive line NFL prospect, I think, in NCAA draft prospect. However you want to categorize it. He was the most hyped offensive lineman ever coming out of the draft, right? He was supposed to be like the Hulk, like the big Hulk, the bulk, all this guy. This guy was huge. Played at Michigan State. Literally, I think he was 6'6", 300 and something pounds. I think he was bigger than 6'6", 300 and something pounds. Ran a 4.62 bench press. He literally destroyed the combine. He destroyed the combine. But excuse me. He got drafted with Troy Aikman, Barry Sanders, Deion Sanders, and Derek Thomas. Let me just make sure all those people are correct. Yes, they are. All four of them Hall of Famers, right? This guy, though, got drafted number 2. I think Troy Aikman was number 1. And then this guy got drafted number 2 to the Green Bay Packers, to the Cheeseheads, to the old Cheeseheads. Bro, this guy hacked the system, bro. So not only did he hold out for money, of course he held out for money. Of course he did. But he held out for money, one of the first people to really start holding out for money and try to, negotiate that shit. He started playing, and after his first season, he played like special teams, didn't really play that much, all that shit. After his first season, his next 2 seasons, he lost 40 pounds. He lost 40 pounds of muscle and literally became like ass, like less aggressive, like just wasn't good. Like he was like, bro, you're with all the Hall of Famers, you know what I'm saying? Like you get drafted, you're supposed to be the best offensive lineman prospect ever, bro. Like he's insane. And he literally like was taking steroids. Like he was taking all these steroids. He was taking actually a lot of shit. I was watching him explain all the steroids he was saying, but it sounded like he was taking like the horse steroid. I forget the name, but he was taking like horse steroids, and he was fucking massive. And it worked. It's pretty crazy how that shit works, right? It's pretty crazy how like this guy literally got huge as shit. He said he would be lifting, and like if he were to start taking like that the cycle, like within 3 days of taking like a cycle of steroids, something like that is what he would explain. One of you steroid heads unfortunately know what I'm talking about. But he was like, yeah, within like 3 days I was lifting 15% heavier than I was like 3 days prior. 15% is insane. 15% is insane. If you just keep going 15%, like that's crazy. So he went balls deep in steroids and this horse steroid and all this craziness. And he got drafted. He killed the combine. He got drafted. And he said he was scared. He basically was scared to try to beat the NFL drug test. He beat all the NCAA drug tests. I think he only got tested 5 times in the 5 years that he played at Michigan State. But bro, 5 times, 5 years, that's bullshit. And he said he cheated every single test. But yeah, he was scared to start. He was scared to follow that steroid use into the NFL, which is crazy, bro. This guy was just out, and it worked. Like the fact that it worked, like he was actually like putting up numbers, running fast. Like his long jump, I don't know exactly long jump shit. I don't really know that stuff, but his long jump was far. He jumped really far. Like they compared it to other people, and like he crushed. Dude, it was crazy. And like he just kind of stopped taking the steroids. Within 3 years, he lost 40 pounds of muscle, was not the same guy, was like less aggressive, scared and stuff. And it was, dude, apparently one of the biggest busts in NFL history. I was like, who is this guy? Like, I've never heard of this guy. Deion Sanders, Barry Sanders, Troy Aikman, all these guys around this guy, all Hall of Famers. And this guy got drafted with him. And the NFL is scared to tell his story because they got scammed on him.